So hey guys, welcome back to another video on Silksong, and today this is going to be a hard video to make because I'm going to talk about the top 5 saddest moments in Silksong. Now choosing this was quite hard because there are a lot of several moments that are extremely sad in the game, but I decided to go with just my personal experience with what I felt as I was playing the game, and I decided to put number 5, the story of the Green Prince. Now when I was playing I had this green bug inside this jail, and I don't know why I just wanted to release him out of there. They felt like someone very important, and so I did. And eventually at a certain point in the game I saw him, looking at the remains of a boss that I defeated, and only to find out that that was his partner. So right there I felt sad as hell. I felt bad about myself because I was guilty for doing that, and right away I thought, okay, definitely we are so definitely fighting this guy later and he's gonna kick my ass. And eventually on Act 3 we meet him again, and by playing the song we enter his memories and we fight him in his prime. And when we finally beat him, it's like a slap in the face because we see him on the ground next to his partner, and they are together again but in death. And I felt so guilty for the entire story, man. Like I feel like I killed his partner and then I kill him. I mean, I did join them in death. They are back together again, but eventually I felt so bad about it because I feel like I did the whole thing, and it was really hard to watch him one last time on the floor dead because of me. So yeah, very sad right away at number 5. And for number 4 I decided to go with the story of Garmin and Zaza. Like, I found these guys first in the Citadel. They were like two buddies, and they were fighting enemies next to me, and that was so cool. I really like the way they look. They are like super cute, and I started talking to them, and they were always like really bubbly. Like, they were like super happy. We're gonna do this, we're gonna beat the enemies, we're gonna save the city, something like that. And I found them many times. I even actually fought them at a certain point in like a funny duel where they are nowhere near a match for me. But even though they are kind of weak compared to me, they were always there, man. Even in Act 3, when everything is infected and the enemies are stronger, I found them again, and they still have that spirit of happiness with that we're gonna keep fighting, we're gonna stick together, and we're gonna save everyone. And then eventually there's like this swish that shows up in Bellheart that I have to do, and when I go into the blasted steps I have Zaza by himself next to me, and eventually you get to a certain place where you find Garmin, and he was infected. And like, this was so hard to watch because I knew I had to fight him, I knew I had to beat him because he could not be saved because of the infection. And Zaza was there with me, he was watching me fighting his partner, so it was really hard to do. And it's kind of tough. At least like he gives up a good fight, and it's like destiny or something. But this was the only boss in the entire game where I beat him, but he beat me at the same time. So I think this made things even sadder in a way, because I don't know, he died at the same time that he killed me, like in an honorable death or something. This was quite hard to witness. Eventually I had to get back there because I died, and when I got there I had Zaza next to his remains, and he didn't move, he just stayed there. And I started playing the music, and these lines just show up, the ones I'm showing on the screen. Man, it was so hard to see the whole thing. And again, I felt a bit the villain because I had to take him down, but yeah, in a way I'm kind of saving him from the infection. But it was really hard, because Zaza was there and they were so cool during the entire game. So yeah, another very sad story. Now for my number 3 I decided to go with the Cogward Dancers, and people, you might probably find it strange that I put the Cogward Dancers ahead of the Green Prince, but I don't know, this was my first sad story into the game and I had no idea what was happening. I was in the Citadel, I was blown away by the Citadel, and I was so dying to see the first boss. And so I entered the arena and I see these two bugs, and I was like, what are they? Are they like brothers? Are they like lovers or something? And eventually, they start fighting and they move together in perfection. And at a certain point, they start mixing up the attacks. And then eventually I kill one of them and the final phase is about to begin. And I'm thinking okay, this is going to be crazy, this is going to ramp up the difficulty to extreme because he's now alone and he's probably angry. But what happens is that the music goes extremely slow and he also moves extremely slow. And of course, like, you get sad right away because you see that I killed his partner and now he barely can move or barely can dance. And at a certain point he goes into the middle of the screen and you see him, what used to be him in the middle dancing with his partner for an attack, now he's just there standing alone, moving incredibly slow, going down by himself. And again, I felt so bad about the whole thing. I felt like I just killed someone's brother or someone's lover. Like, I don't know, it was just so hard to give that final blow on him. I actually didn't want to do it. I even made a video with the title that, have you ever not wanted to kill a boss? Because I did not want to do it. It was just such a sad moment for me. And again, it was my first. That's why I also put him higher than the other two on this list. And yeah, this game completely breaks you. But all these three are nothing compared with number 2 and 1. And in fact, the one I'm going to pick to number 2 deserves to be number 1 because it's actually a real story. Now, I don't know if anyone is going to do a video like this or if anyone already did, but I think that this deserves number 1. I even feel bad for putting this at number 2 because this is an actual story with an actual person. And I knew about this story before I started the game. So in case you don't know, there was like this person that, you know, had cancer in real life and you know, like everyone else, was super excited to play Silksong. But due to the cancer, what he did is like he draw this character, and after his death, Team Sherry, you know, just used the drawing that he did to create the real character, which is Seth, which we fight in the game. So this is something that happened in the real world, you know, and when I was playing the game and I knew about the story, and suddenly Seth shows up, and right away, like, I mean, oh my god, like it's him, it's the fight, it's the character that, you know, the real person in the real world that had cancer drew. And it's happening right now, and the music while fighting him, it's like really, really sad. And I don't know, it's so heartbreaking to do this fight, and then you beat him, and then you meet him again later into the game, and he doesn't even remember fighting us. I don't know, like the whole thing is just feels so tragic and so sad because it's something that happened in real life. Someone actually died because of the goddamn thing called cancer that takes so many people's lives in this world. So yeah, it was really, really heartbreaking, but I'm not gonna put it at first because I don't know, I have to be true with myself and with what I felt. And number 1 has got to be the ending of the game. Like, this was an incredible journey. Like, they have done another masterpiece, Team Sherry. And, you know, I went through the Abyss, which is something very important to any Hollow Knight player. It brings so many memories. And, you know, there I was, you know, I was about to do the final jump into the Abyss. And so, you know, I pressed the button and I knew I was going to go to the end of the game. You know, I was going for my final fight. And suddenly she starts crossing the Abyss and the music from the trailer starts playing. And I immediately, you know, had tears running down my face, you know, because we waited 7 years for this game. And when we saw that trailer, when we saw that it was a real thing, Silksong was real, and there I was going in the direction of the final boss, the direction of the ending of the game, the end of this crazy journey of this incredible game, and that music starts playing, man. And I like I said, I had tears right away running down my face. And you know, you start fighting Lost Lace, and the fight is incredible. It's one of the best 2D bosses I've ever fought in a video game, and the music that plays in her fight is also so incredibly emotional and beautiful. And then when you finally beat her, and it was so hard, such a hard boss, and like you're celebrating, you're filled with emotions, and then on the end credits you get to see the knight again. I don't know, everything, the whole thing, the whole experience was just so powerful to the point that, you know, it made me cry. And it's the ending of such an incredible game, and it could not go down in a better way. Like, the ending of Silksong is one of the greatest things that I personally experienced in a video game. It was that good, and it felt like the saddest moment in this game. So again, yeah, all 5 stories are crazy sad, but the one that moved the most with my emotions was definitely the ending of this game. So yeah, it's my number 1. So now that I shared, you know, my top 5 with you guys, please let me know in the comments which part of this game moved you the most, which one do you think is the saddest. And yeah, as always, I see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and yeah, stay well. Bye bye, see you next time.